Welcome back to the PGA DFS Teen It Up podcast. I'm your host, Jay Rueb, here for a really exciting week talking about the Players Tournament with Sam Sherman, the man who called the Scotty Scheffler win last week. Sam, how you doing? We're both coming off really big weeks, so that's exciting. Looking to carry some momentum into this week.
Yeah, it's kind of good from obviously a lot of reasons for AC not to be on the pod. Number one, he rambles. Number two, he's a huge jinx. But every time we're on the pod, I feel like you win bigger than me, but we both win. Last week was a good one. That was Scotty deserved it. I feel like we got lucky that like Horschel did lockbox more putts, but yeah, dude, this is probably, although I have a disdain for the term fifth mate. But anyway, this field is second to none. This is an awesome tournament, and I think there's always a lot of knowledge at a course like this. Everyone knows kind of how it plays, who plays well. It's similar like in Augusta, things like that. But with the weather, with how much trouble is lurking, this is always just a great tilt fest, and B, it's just really fun to watch. There's so much exciting. But before I bury the lead, I mean, you got to tell everyone about how, I don't even know, like, when you're filing taxes this year, like, is this going to be, you have to hire, like, someone, this is getting out
It's
of
getting
hand.
a little absurd. Yeah, it's
If
getting.
if anyone didn't see those, like, DK, like, posts they have about some better put $500 on Scotty Scheffler, that was Rueb. That was the guy. He's the
That
guy.
was me. And listen, I give all the credit to you, man. You're the one who talked me onto Scotty. We just talking through some of our process going into last week was just you knew you had conviction in Scotty's game. He just was coming off the win a few weeks ago at the Waste Management, and the way it was looking, it looked like his ownership was going to get squeezed with people on Zalatoris and Fitzpatrick, and then people all over the high end guys and Rory and Rahm, and he just kind of fell in that dead range where ownership got squeezed. I mean, I was the only one in high stakes with him. He was 5% owned in my 1,520 man, so
in my single entry, I think in like the $40 $222 single entry, whatever, he was like 8 to 10% maybe. And again, it wasn't like everything is hindsight. I'm not saying like I'm so smart because Rory kind of like gave it all back on the weekend, but like I think it's one of those things where I know we were talking about this pre-pod about how like I just don't think Scotty, it's no one's fault, is kind of thought of in the same way as these top end guys, but he is, and so his ownership will reflect that. It's the same reason why, like, I thought I was getting into it with someone a couple of days ago, and Taylor Gooch, like, he'll probably falter on Saturday, like he sucks. I'm like, actually, he's like really good. He just is not thought of. He just hasn't like been around, and he's not like a Rory or JT. So yeah, I think this week I was telling this to a couple of people before. I was telling you before. This is very similar to me, like the Honda Classic, where there is so much, so much game theory in terms of I think fading the chalk is like really important here because guys, like no one has elite course history. You have guys who've played well a lot, but you look at these guys who have played well the last 3 years or so, 5 years, and they almost always have a miscut because this course just can kill you. So I know you go team one lineup, you play smaller fields, it's a little different, but I know if you're playing multiple lineups, like there's just always a reason where if just making up names, if Justin Thomas is going to be 20% owned and Morikawa is going to be 12% owned, like Morikawa is the play. Like they're the same player and he's lower owned. So that's kind of my thought process coming into this week.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We buried the lead about what the weather projection's looking like. I know that it's still early here on Monday, but it does not look good. It looks like 80% chance of rain on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday the temperatures drop into the 50s, 20-mile-per-hour winds. So this leaderboard could flip on its head, and we kind of saw that last week where Friday afternoon, once that wind picked up, we saw people struggle. So not only is it a difficult course, but with this weather, I think we need to embrace a little bit of variance. Look at some golfers that we probably wouldn't have considered without this weather. Some guys who rate well in bogey avoidance and because you're going to have to avoid the big number this week if you want to get to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, you led right into me. That's what I'm looking at this week is, in terms of like trying to narrow it down and not name a million stats like I've been known to do or other touts do. It's the fact that I'm looking at, bogey avoidance. I think par five scoring, no matter what you think of par five scoring and how obvious that may seem, it is so correlated. And then, yeah, like the scrambling. I mean, these greens are really small. I think that's the biggest difference between like the course comps I'm looking at is, last week we're looking at greens that are like 7,000 plus feet, whatever. These are like 5,500 square feet on average. So they're smaller and guys will miss. And so it really puts a premium on the ball striking. And the guys, like you just said, yeah, can avoid these big, you saw last week, guys like Nick Watney out of nowhere was contending and then he made like a 9 on the back nine on Sunday. Just completely just crushes all your upside. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm sure you have some spicy takes on guys that I hate. And
Yeah, I'm
then again,
excited.
I'm playing a couple guys I really do not like. I hate that I'm playing them. So,
I mean, let's start at this top range, man. I mean, over 10K. Obviously, these guys are all going to be popular. We have last year's winner, Justin Thomas, up here. World number 1, Jon Rahm, Rory, who everyone saw crush, Colin Morikawa, who is my personal favorite golfer in the world, and then Victor Hovland, who people just saw light it up last week. So, I mean, these 5 guys are all going to garner ownership. What are your early leans here on who's going to get steamed up, and what are you doing up here in the 10K range?
yeah, I think, I think Hovland's ownership would have been out of control if he had won. I still think it'll be quite high because he's such a good scorer. He's so elite.
Yeah.
He's going to win a ton.
Yeah.
Obviously with a field like this, I think it'll be a theme. Like I don't have an issue. Like you could tell me basically you're playing any of like the top 18 price guys and I'd be like, they're all good plays. I think for me, I may just fade Rory. I've been playing Rory a lot, and it's not that I think. I just, coming off a bit of a letdown, I think he'll be popular, and I know Rahm continues to have just a almost historically bad short game right now, but I've kind of I've been playing him to no avail for several tournaments now. I'll probably keep playing Rahm. I love Morikawa. I worry about his par 5 scoring, but just so elite. And then I don't know. I mean, you can't play everyone. I don't play 150 lineups, and you don't either. So I would say I'm probably going to be choosing 2 guys, maybe 1. And I think my cross-offs will probably be Rory, Hovland, because I expect to be high owned. And then, between Morikawa and JT, I'll kind of let ownership dictate it. My one thing with JT is with the driving, he is so good. Obviously, he won here and he can contend, but the driving has been so inconsistent. When he misses big, and this is not exactly a place to miss big. So that's my one consideration, especially getting chalky. But I'm curious to see what you're doing up top and if you're riding the Rom train. I don't know. He might come in under owned.
So listen, this is what I thought last week. I was considering playing Rahm last week because I thought he was going to get squeezed early ownership projections. I know that we had Rory higher owned than Rahm, and it ended up working out in the $20 last week, the big 150 large field one. Rory ended up higher owned than Rahm, but when you look over to high stakes stuff, like I know in some of my stuff, Rahm was up to 37%. Rory, topped out at 17 to 20, and people are still all in on Jon Rahm, and how can you blame them?
Mm-hmm.
He's the world number 1 for a reason, even though, he can get that overtaken this week. I think there's 4 golfers who could take over the world number 1 this week if they were to win. I don't know what to do with Rahm. I think my early lean is that I'm going to avoid him. I think the putting struggles are real. You see him switching clubs, but when that's the worst club in your bag, we know the variance in putting, and that could switch very quickly. So I personally don't know what I'm going to do with Rahm yet, but my early lean is that I'm going to be all in on Colin Morikawa this week. You talk about the approach game. We talk about having to be accurate, don't miss big. That's Colin Morikawa's game. And especially if these greens are soft and wet, and it could neutralize the putting a little bit. I know we talked pre-pod and you're not really 100% sure if it would neutralize putting, but when this dude, when he doesn't give strokes to the field putting, he's the best player on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, they're so similar, JT and Morikawa, in my opinion. I think a lot of his opinion, where it's like, if they gain even like a minor amount putting, they probably win the tournament. Like Morikawa even more so. And Morikawa's actually been putting decent. I mean, basically, okay. I mean, I consider ownership obviously. I don't know, maybe heavier. Maybe that's to my own chagrin. But like, if you had JT at 11, Morikawa at 20 plus, would you still play Morikawa?
I probably would personally.
Yeah, no, it just depends on how much,
Yeah.
what ownership is like not worth it. I get
Yeah,
that.
I think Rory's a complete cross off for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I
To
don't
me,
know. It's just
that doesn't feel smart to me to pay that price for him. How likely is he to outscore Rom in this scenario? I don't know. So Rory's a cross off for me
yeah, I mean,
personally.
yeah, and then what about I know we both like Hovland. Again, that's just an ownership thing for me. Hovland is everyone likes to play him, and I get it, but he to me is
Yeah.
like Hovland, Xander, Finau, guys. People just like to play them.
Yeah,
They're
I like
always.
Hovland a lot, but I can't play everyone, and
Mhm.
I really like Colin Morikawa more than him. And then there's a guy who's a little bit cheaper here that we'll talk about in the next range that I
Yeah, go right
enjoy,
to
that I
it.
really like as well. So yeah, I mean,
Go right to it.
we really touched on that 10K range. Let's get into the nines, and it's Patrick Cantlay week for me. When we talk
Mhm.
about weather and weather scoring, him and Colin Morikawa are some of the best players in bad weather conditions on tour. This guy's a freaking robot. He could drop he drops it wherever he wants. And in your model, in most people's models, he's number one in the field strokes gained on par fives. And we just talked about this par five scoring. Sam and I were just going through the leaderboard last week. Similar course where there was 4 par fives, and all of these par fives are drivable. I mean, we have one 575-yard one, but then we have 3 540 yards or shorter. So Eagles are going to be king. Not only are they king for DraftKings scoring, but getting to the top. Patrick Cantlay is the guy this week for me, and I'm going to be pretty much all in on Cantlay.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like everyone was all in on Cantlay, rightfully so. And like he had like 4 top 10s in a row, 3 of them are top fives, and he had like one 30th place finish where he played a lot of weeks in a row, and people kind of now seem like they don't really care, like he wasn't in really good form. Number one, he doesn't play a ton of weeks in a row, so I like when he takes time off. I love Cantlay. I think he will get owned like a lot of guys up here, but I don't. I know it's not cheap, but he feels underpriced. He
He's
just
close
does.
enough. He's close enough to the
Yeah.
10K guys where people are just going to look at that range. They have better, Vegas odds, and people are going to try to get 2 of those 10K guys before they go with a high nines and a 10K guy, in my opinion. So I think he might get squeezed a little bit, I hope, but who knows? I mean, once the industry sentiment goes around and they look at his scoring and how well he could play here, especially in the weather, he might get steamed up a little bit, but we'll see. You know me, I'm not afraid to eat a little chalk, so.
Yeah, I mean, again, and we'll start to, I promise people to start not talk about every guy. My only thing I'll say, a couple guys, I like Cantlay. I'm completely in agreement. I have nothing else to even add. I think you're spot on. DJ, I always will play if he's going to come in under owned. I obviously don't know yet. If I look on Wednesday, he's going to be under
I don't think
10%
anyone
owned.
plays DJ. I
No,
think
I don't either.
he's
I mean,
sub 5%
yeah. And if he
easy.
is, that's for me. I'm like a 3 max. That's an auto play just because he's someone. Okay, he's missed the cut in dramatic fashion a couple weeks ago, but like he just can win anywhere. So he just has that ability. So I'll always play him. I think Xander, everyone's obsessed with him. I like, he rates out well for me. Like again, like I said at the top, if he gets to like a mega chalk, I have no problem fading Xander ever. We know he hates winning. But my favorite guy, I mean, behind Cantlay, I mean, Hideki just like, what's he got to do to get some respect? I mean,
Yeah.
the guy has won 3 times in the last year. I mean, he's the only multi-winner on tour this year. I mean, like, what are we doing? I like Hideki a lot. I love Cam Smith. No one ever wants to play him. And then I hate to say, I'm probably gonna fade our man. I don't know, Scotty's got a
Yeah, I'm
lot
not
of
going
winning.
back
It's
to
hard
him.
to.
Not
It's hard to.
going back to him this week personally. I was going to ask you about him. I mean, he's our guy.
Yeah.
I love him. I'm a big UT fan, and that's where he's a Longhorn as well. So Scotty's
Mm-hmm.
quickly becoming one of my favorite golfers, but I don't see myself going back to him here. I like the Cam Smith call. I think he's someone that rates out really well here, and he could go under the radar, especially with these big names around him. I mean, we didn't even talk about Jordan Spieth at 9K. People love to play him. I don't think I'm going to get there this week on Spieth. Um, It just, with me,
I'm off Spieth. No,
yeah,
I
I'm off
can't play
Spieth
most
too.
water. A lot of
Yeah,
water.
yeah, no, it's just so Cam
I
Smith
mean,
would be one of the
what
lower
what
end
is
guys that I
what
would
is
consider.
Cam? hmm I mean, what does Cam Smith do well? He has a good short game and scores on the par fives and makes birdies. That seems like
Yeah,
pretty good to me. I like the again. Scotty. The only thing I'll say is I'm not like I have an issue with. Again, it's always comes down to sometimes people like, why are you off him? It's like, well, I can't play everyone, and I don't know. He's probably underpriced, clearly his talent, but 2 wins in his last 3 starts. I mean, I just think I'd rather play a most likely lower on Cam Smith, drop down. I think the mega chalk as we move down, and I will play him. Berger is underpriced. People again don't view him in the same way. He's so good. He could win this tournament. In fact, I
yeah.
bet him to win this tournament.
I
So
actually think people will be off him because they saw that collapse 2 weeks ago. They're kind of anyone
yeah,
who played him that week. I mean, they got a sour taste in their mouth for sure. So that'll lower ownership.
I get it. That cost me money, but like that course is pretty hard. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hold it against him like too much. I mean, like yeah, he had a couple bad, but are you gonna play everyone's obsession Willie Z?
I don't know, man. I was gonna ask you. Seems like the price is kind of right at 8-9 for him. When we talk about approach game, we know that he's one of the best in the field. The putter looks awful. I think I text you. I said whoever taught Will Zalatoris to putt like that, they should be fired. It's so cringeworthy. The dude just
Have you
never looks
seen when they
confident.
zoom in? Have you seen when they zoom in on like the short putts when his
Yeah, it's
putter is
awful,
like
man.
it's like
And
shaking. I'm like, dude,
he's
oh my
switching
god,
putter grips based on length. I mean, the dude just looks so
it's not
freaking
great.
uncomfortable out there. I mean, I traditionally, will ignore the bad putter because we talk about the variance of it, but man, he could not make a big putt to save his life. He was awful on the weekend, just absolutely dreadful on the weekend last week. Yes, the course was playing extremely tough, and but yeah, I don't know. I don't see myself going back to Willie Z, and he's gonna get some ownership. Everyone loves to play him. Good call by you on the fade last week. I mean, I won with him. I mean, if I go with anyone else in that range, I probably crush even more. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not on him this week. I know
No, I mean,
he's gonna be popular.
yeah, and it's like for me, it's like I just like I see more upside in like literally every guy below him, like the next 6 guys. Like that's my thing.
Yeah,
It's like I'm not saying he's even overpriced as much as it's like, okay, well he's 89 and has a horrendous short game. But then I have like Berger who has a good short game, except his putting's been bad this year. I have Louis and all these guys. We'll get to find. Everyone knows I hate Brooks. He's so annoying, but like 8,600, like what are we doing?
yeah, big
What are
event.
we doing?
Brooks.
Why is
Brooks
Willie
shows
Z
up.
more expensive than Brooks Koepka?
Yeah, Brooks shows up for the
He
big
does.
events
He's
too,
a
man.
complete tool,
20
but
$20
like
million purse. When that's on the line, Brooks shows up.
no, he has to care. Now he cares. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
like just looking at, I know he can be volatile, but like, first of all, he's actually his ball strike has been good. His putting's been horrendous. He just came off. He finished T3, what I think is a good comp course in Scottsdale, where he's won twice. He finished top 20 at Honda, where he could not think. Lucky for me, because he was owned. He could not putt worth shit at Honda, but yeah, he just shows up. I don't. He doesn't really ever get owned unless it's majors, and I think people just are obsessed with playing Louis. So I think I could see him getting a lot of ownership and Berger instead of
Yeah.
Brooks. I
I already
think,
saw people. Just a quick touch on Brooks. One last thing, I saw he opened at 50-1 on DraftKings, and the industry immediately bet him down to 40-1. It seemed like everyone was on that. So, I mean, just
yeah,
based on that, I can
yeah. I
see
mean,
people wanting
yeah.
to play him,
FanDuel was
and
paying him like 40, like an hour
yeah,
ago.
the ownership's going
But
to get a little out of control on Brooks here, I think. And just to touch on this range a little bit, it feels like a range I'm going to be underweight on. I mean, you guys heard my love. Listen, I'm very transparent. I love Colin Morikawa and Cantley, and if I start my
mhm.
lineup with those two, it's very difficult for me to play any guys here in this high 8K range. So it
Yeah,
seems like a place I'm going to be underweight on personally.
yeah, but I think making it yes, I agree with you. I think because it could be dead range at that, I think it could lead to some leverage because, not that you're going to do this, but I think it'll be so easy for people to be like, okay, well, I'm going to put in 2 top guys. I'm going to play Rory. I'm going to play Xander. That's what everyone does. And then, oh, let's go play Paul Casey, who's for some reason 7,400. It's like I think that'll be popular. So I think owning, again, you're a one lineup guy, but playing multi lineups is playing these 8K guys. I mean, playing like I love Sungjae Im. I think he's my favorite bet of the week. Joaquin Neiman, he just won in a loaded field and then missed one cut. So I guess now he sucks apparently.
Yeah.
And then you have Billy Horschel, who's the worst. So I think there's a lot of guys down in that 8K, and I get why you're skipping. I mean, who would you, if you had to go 84, between 8 and 84, who would be your favorite? Because mine would be Sungjae Im and Joaquin.
I like him. For me, it's Neiman. I think, especially in bad weather, he's a guy with low ball flight. I think that could be a big advantage here at this course, you know, especially if we get these winds ramping up. If he can make it to the weekend and now we have 20-mile-per-hour winds and a guy with low ball flight like he does, I think we could see him do some damage. So I think I think he gets squeezed. I do not think that he gets owned here. Especially, you know, Brooks right around him, Im right around him.
People are obsessed with Finau.
Scott, who people played last week, Billy Ho, who just showed out last week. Like, you got all these guys around him. Tony Finau, everyone loves that. You know, Willie Zienberger, like he might be the lowest owned guy in this 8K range. And for me, I mean, I would love to get that in GPPs.
Yeah, and going to Horschel, okay, so I don't like him, but again, as I'm playing Brooks, I can get past my biases sometimes. Horschel hasn't really played. It's weird. He's a Florida guy. Everyone knows that, and he plays on Florida. He's never really played that well here. Neither is Sam Burns in that price change. I'll probably be out on them. If people are going to fade Lowry, I will be very in on him because, he like lost the tournament deal a couple weeks ago, but I mean, that was a little bit, not that he got screwed, but he kind of got screwed.
He kind of got screwed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I'm doing. Hatton, I'm not going to chase that. Fitz, I don't know. What's your opinion? I think his upside is so low, so I never play him, but he is pretty cheap for someone who is pretty consistent. He does score on the par fives. So I don't know what I want to do with Fitz. If he's going to be popular, like auto fade, but.
So for him, I mean, I think he realized
that's a tough.
Yeah, I think he realized how difficult the course was playing last week. I mean, he was maybe one of the most conservative golfers on the course last week. I mean, he just flooded around.
Rueb, what are the odds that you play Webb Simpson?
No, I'm not playing Webb Simpson. My guy in that range. I mean, it's Abe Answer for me. Pete Dye course.
I know. I like Abe too. He's so cheap, and like his course kind of
fits. So cheap.
Webb. Someone asked me this morning. It's like Webb. Okay, he's really, really cheap. He absolutely fits this course better than almost. He actually is number one in my course comp because he crushes Wyndham. He's won here, obviously. He's played well at TPC Scottsdale. It just I don't know. I literally don't know if he's injured. Like I have no idea. Like I don't know why he hasn't. He's played one time this year, so.
It's tough.
I mean, but that's the thing is like if I'm not going to play Chalk Fitz, or I'm not going to play Webb. I like Answer. I'm not playing Homa. Leishman's.
You think Fitz? Fitz is chalky?
Jason Day.
You think Fitz is chalky?
I just think because he's so cheap. Because like because people saw him backdoor at the top 10 last week, so I could see kind of. Oh hey, Anthony's joining us.
There he is. Look at that mid pod. Look at that.
I just thought I'd jump on. What's up, Rueb?
Love that. What's up, AC? How's it going, man?
AC, you're just in time to give us your thoughts on Matt Fitzpatrick.
I never played him, ever. Ever. What's funny, Sam, is I think I texted you, I don't know when it was, Friday or Saturday. He crept up the leaderboard late on Sunday.
Yep.
And he backdoor top 10 because he made like 6 birdies all week, but made like 4 bogeys.
He was maybe the most conservative golfer on the course. He parred his way to a top 10, literally.
Yeah, that again, had I been more cognitively aware of, I guess, the weather conditions, it probably made a lot of sense in a vacuum. But yeah, I'm not playing him this week. I mean, are you guys? I mean, Sam, what are you expecting the score to be theoretically this week if you had to project? Sam is frozen.
Sam froze on us. I mean, AC, we touched on it earlier, but man, it's looking like we're gonna have a crazy weather week here for the players. Sam, he asked you what do you think your target score is? What do you think the winner is for this week, given the weather and the tough conditions?
Assuming it doesn't actually like gust and rain the whole time because it'll be soft, I'm gonna guess minus 12.
Wow. So I mean, were you guys kind of on Fitzpatrick before I jumped on, just to circle up on that?
No, I was telling Rueb. I mean, like, my thing is with Fitz, like, I obviously don't ever like to play him because I think his upside's so limited. However, he is very cheap, and he obviously putts well in Bermuda. He actually is ranks third for me in par fives and everything like. But my problem is sometimes with a field like this, it's not like my pivots are guys who are like Corn Ferry players. I just don't feel like I need to eat if he is going to be chalky, which I just expect he is, to play him because like there's just guys around him I think have similar or more upside, and Fitz is just.
What is his price point? Not that we need to keep talking about him. Sorry, I jumped on. What is it?
77.
Oh, so you guys are already like halfway through the pod. Well, real quick, if you don't mind, I apologize, but what were your quick thoughts up top with pricing? I'm just curious this week.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm all over Morikawa and Cantley. Those are my two guys at the top here that I really, really like. Just great weather players. Cantley crushes par fives, number one in strokes game par five in this course, and then just the approach game of Morikawa, and he's my guy. So, and then for me, I'm underweight in the 8K range just because I'm on those two guys.
I said if Rahm is going to come in under Rome, that's an auto play for me.
I think Sam has extremely bad internet issues.
We got laggy Sam today. It's great. AC, you joined and look, Sam's lagging now. Now it's
lagging. So here's my quick thoughts. Rueb, first off, did you love my GIF I posted? You are now Simba ascending. You've always been an amazing DFS player. I've always told you that, but you're hot, man. You're smoking hot.
It's been a nice run.
Some really big wins, and you just got to keep going with it. And you know what you're doing too. I 100% agree. I know it's Monday, but that was my first thought too, Rueb, was Morikawa. Now, us kind of on that wavelength, again, Sam was kind of cutting out. Just by you saying that, it was confirmation bias. I'm assuming he's going to be the guy that everybody touts up, and I'm assuming he's going to be the guy. I will say, I don't know how deep you went into the 8K range. You mentioned that you guys are kind of not overlooking it, but you have to make decisions. I mean, to me, the guy that sticks out, and again, I'm assuming he's going to be mega chalk, is I'm going right back to Berger. I think this course sets up incredibly well for Berger. I mean, again, he probably, if I had to guess, is mega chalk.
Yeah, no, I told Rueb, I think he'll be insanely chalk, and it makes sense because he's so underpriced. Like I bet him this week. I think he has like a top 5 chance to win.
And how about Billy Hole? Nobody ever wants to play Billy Horschel like in an environment like this. I think in the field when it's different, I was kind of looking at that 8,100. He's been playing very well. People don't like to play him unless the field.
But I could play chalk Billy at 81, or I could play an under-owned Sungjae or Neiman.
Is he going to be chalk though? I don't think he will, man. I really don't.
Yeah, but no, because I think he only will be I mean, it's all relative, right? But like, I think he'll get bumped up because of his finish last week.
And you guys, again, I don't want to jam the pod here too much, but the last thing I want to mention is, believe me, I don't like playing him, but I'm taking a look at the price point and just some names we're mentioning. Spieth is at $9,000. He's actually found his iron game recently this year. Again, he's volatile. He's wild off the tee, but he's not so wild as we think. I think all of us, all three of us in specific, need to take a harder look at Spieth, just the way that, like we mentioned, in Berger, Willie Z's been popular. Obviously, Scotty's right there. I'm assuming nobody's going to play Scotty because he's really tired. I'm going to take a hard look at Scotty as well. He's won me a lot of money this year. Same with Rueb. I'm going to take a look at Spieth for a GPP pivot.
I don't know. It's really hard to see Spieth like succeeding at this course. Like there's just so much trouble, and like
he's finding himself though this year a little bit. He really is. I mean, if you just listen to some of the interviews, me, I'm a big interview guy with golf. I mean, he came in 60th at the Phoenix Open, 2nd at Pebble, 26th at the Genesis, but I feel like he's been playing a little bit better than that. Like even in the Tournament of Champions, I remember watching that tournament. He came in 20th place, but he played a lot better than that. Yeah, I just think again. I mean, Rueb, I know you're going to take multiple shots in the 2-2-2. I mean, Spieth's a guy that you probably might need to consider, right? I mean, you can't play all the guys, right? I'm just trying to bring some quick value to the pot here.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I can't see myself really getting on Spieth. When I started looking, the 9K price tag, the same that it did for you, it stood out. It stood out right away. When you see a player of his caliber at 9K.
Spieth's last 6 starts at Sawgrass: 48th miscut, 41st miscut.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Rueb, let's just do this. Let's play our boy Scotty again, because you guys all know
man.
They don't play winners because they're tired.
I'm not playing Scott, dude. He's not tired, but I don't know. It's tough to see him smashing. Like, I said that he's probably gonna win, but
it's tough, dude. When I saw how composed he was on 17 yesterday, he left that putt like 6 inches short, and he was laughing with his caddy, like having a great time out there. Like, he's not a guy who's afraid of the moment at all.
Yeah, he got the wind off his back, dude.
Yeah, he's not afraid of the moment at all. That dude is free as nails.
I didn't have a ticket really on anyone that was kind of in the hunt except Scotty on the weekend. And you know what? I felt like good about it. Not that I thought he'd win, but he had nothing to lose. He's playing relaxed. He's playing easy. I don't know. I like that price. All right. I'll let you guys take over the pod where you guys were kind of leaving off. No more Fitzpatrick.
Oh, I want AC to give us his case for why Casey's like a really good play and how he's going to go really under.
God.
What price is
what does DK have to do for this 7,400? What did he do? Who did he sleep with at DraftKings that they won't bump up his price? I mean, what is going on?
Casey in tournaments may actually be the easiest fade of all. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the way he played over the weekend, people might fade him a little bit.
I know.
Sam,
I know.
Sam. I know you're going to go back to your boy Gary. You've been riding him. Actually, I give you credit the last 6 months, and he's starting to come around. I mean, you know what, Sam? We need in Rueb. We have to remember
he plays tough courses well, dude. He plays tough course as well. That's what Gary does.
We have to play Gary at the U.S. Open. I almost hope that Gary is not informed going into, the Open.
Of course I'm going to play him at the U.S. Open. I was like the only one who told people to play him at the U.S. Open when he won. I'm not saying I'm like an unbelievable tout. But I was like, guys, Gary, like, because he plays like these lesson driver courses really well despite being like.
Ironically, again, Rueb, what do you think? I mean, I think the Mega Chalk's going to be Henley. It's not going to be Casey.
Yeah, I think both those guys. So personally, I think getting the 7K range right this week is crazy important because everyone is going to want to play 2 guys, 9K and above, and then every lineup's going to have 2-3 golfers in this 7K range. I think the range gets extremely popular, and deciding who to play here is going to be tough. We talked about Answer a little bit before you got on and how he plays on these P-tie courses. And he just has great course history here. And then, Casey 7,400. I mean, what does this guy have to do to get a price bump? I think he's going to be crazy popular from basically some of the industry stuff that I've seen already on Monday. I mean, Casey's going to be mega chalk. I'm interested. I kind of want to get Sam's opinion. We finally saw Corey Connors bounce back a little bit.
Here's what's going to happen.
Go ahead. What do you think happens with Casey?
You knew where I was going.
Oh, Corey Connors.
I mean, so here's the thing. So AC will play Paul Casey. So AC will play Paul Casey. He'll probably convince himself that Tringali's going to come back. But he'll play Casey, where I'm just going to sit, and he'll probably play Luke List too. Whereas I'll be sitting over here playing Taylor Gooch, Corey Connors, and definitely going just right back to Seamus Power, who killed me last week. Me last week.
Yeah, he did. I'm all over Gooch, and I'm all over Gooch and Connors this week. I mean, we talk about approach game and you don't want to miss big here. I mean, Connors has some of the best approach game on tour, and when he gets going, finally, he had a good tournament. I mean, after a couple missed cuts, I think he missed 2 of his last 4 going into the tournament last weekend, but man, if he's back in form and the approach game's working and the soft greens, if the putting's a little bit neutralized, I mean, give me Corey Connors at 7,300. And then who is that other name that you said that I really liked? What was it? Connors and Gooch. Gooch. I mean, you've been beating the Gooch drum. You think that this guy's the next big thing who could,
He's so good.
Be a guy that we're looking to play in like the mid 8s, low 9s later in the season here if he has a couple more good showings.
How many people are in this tournament? Because I think that's kind of the issue here. I mean, everybody. I hate being that guy. Everybody's going to be 8% owned minimum.
Jesus Christ, 140.
Yeah, it's going to be spread. Thank you, AC. I try to tell this guy. I try to tell this guy every week. There's no chalk. There's no chalk. It all gets spread.
What I would fix that comment would be I don't think one below 7,000 would be like chalk.
Yeah, there's no like auto cross-offs. I think except Casey. I really do think Casey could be crazy owned again. I mean, he was 40% plus last week in some small field stuff, and he looked like he was going to bury me, and then he had the weekend that he did.
People that haven't played DFS golf for a long time, like they'll look at I don't even have his course history in front of me. I kind of just jumped on.
He had a T5 last year. T5 last year.
But then also, I think, what was it, Sam? 2 or 3 years ago.
Dude, 2019. Dude, he dumped in like 3 in the water on 17 on day 1 and was like 100 over and like 1,000,000% ownership. And everyone's like, never again.
He was like top 15 before that hole. So it's just funny how this tournament can go south. I got a guy though. Rueb, how many lineups are you tossing in? Just one in the 2-2-2?
Just one, man. You know
just
me.
One. So I got a guy, and this guy's been he has won me some money in the past, and I'm kind of mad that I haven't been playing him as much because I've been tooting his horn a little bit, and I can already tell you he will not be that owned, and he's in the same price range. Can you guess the same range as all these guys that we're talking about? There's one guy, and I know that he sets up well here. I don't even know his course history. It might not be good. In fact, it is good. He has won here before. And
you're just going to say Russell Knox again.
No, Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim played atrocious on the weekend. I hope it scares some people off.
Yeah.
But he had back-to-back 69s last week. He was looking really great again. Again, the weekend, whatever. I mean, it was terrible weather, all that tough course. But he has played lights out, this entire year again. I mean, I don't even remember the last time he's missed a cut. I guess the Shriners, when you look at it. I like Siwoo in this range because everybody's
one of the best. I was telling Rueb that one of the best. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think he's one of the better upside plays in this range because, like you guys said, there's so many good names right down here. There are. And I think Siwoo kind of gets lost a little bit in the shuffle.
He plays incredible on Pete Dye courses. I mean, his comp course stuff is incredible. So he's someone that I'm interested in. I'm telling you, I think this is the most important range on the week, and getting these guys right in this low to mid 7K range is going to be huge. Guy that we talked about pre-pod that we both kind of like. Sam and I talked about Kevin Kisner. I mean, a place where you have to avoid bogeys. We know his putter's nails, and he's had a great putter all year. The fact that the par 5s are shorter, I mentioned before, AC, but 3 of the 4 par 5s are sub 540 yards here, so he's not getting crushed on length at this course. Short course, good putter, avoids the shit, avoids the big number. I'm kind of interested in Kisner, and he's never owned. Like I anticipate sub 5% ownership on him. I know it's tough. It's tough to go to a guy like him when you have exciting guys like Cam Young and even Luke List there who can pick up strokes off the tee and on approach on him.
I'm so done with fucking Luke List.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe how much I play him. And
he was. Sorry. It wouldn't be a pod without AC's phone going off, so that's perfect. But Ace, listen, Luke List last week. There was everyone in high stakes was on Luke List last week. I saw him. All the big name guys played List last week.
He did win me a big money. Was it the Amex he won earlier this year? I did win that outright bet with him. But
wow,
I can't.
Torrey Pines, a big guy.
Man. I just cannot go back to him.
Yeah, I mean, now that AC's off, I might be back in. But I don't know, dude. I mean, we got Keith Mitchell who killed me and everyone else. But I mean, Anthony, I kind of have a gut feeling about this kind of stuff. It's time we can go back to Brian.
To who?
He's not appropriate price.
I didn't hear who you said.
Brian Harmon.
Oh my God, dude. You know what? Brian Harmon, you're right. That guy's probably going to honestly top 5. I don't understand him. I never play him. and he's always in the running in big tournaments. I feel like it's like the big DFS weeks where there's big prize pools. It's like there's Brian Harmon, 4% owned. I mean, you're right. Like, and nobody plays him.
He's so
it's kind of like your
so
Kisner call. Like, no one's gonna play him. But he does set up well here.
He's boring, man. I mean, Kisner's as boring as it gets, but the guy makes putts, and on a short course he can contend. You know, every course comp here, every course
we're
comp
finally in the juicy range. We're finally the juicy range. Why is Mito Pereira 6,700?
What happened to Webb since?
We already moved past that. We don't know if he's hurt. All right, so Mito Pereira is 67. Like, what are we doing? And then Sebastian Munoz, who I am always on, but now he's playing well. Everyone else has hopped on too.
Everyone's playing him. Yep, he was super popular last week.
Dude, I mean, he is playing.
You know, I got a guy, if he can just make some fucking putts, would honestly definitely top 10. It's Russell Knox. I mean, I play this guy so much, too much. And I mean, he just so much missed strokes gained around the green with putting. But he sets up really well here. I mean, dude, he's actually having one of his best seasons he's ever had. If you really look into the numbers, I mean, you clearly can see that. I mean, he's having a hell of a year. I mean, I'm just looking for some opportunity here down below because there are going to be a lot of guys that everybody plays, right? I don't think Russell Knox.
You can play all the Russell Knox for me. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't see anyone.
His last 5 starts, he has 3 T33s, a T55, and miscut, but.
It's because he can't putt. It's like the Keegan syndrome.
Turn it up.
Listen, but if these greens are soft, you could see these guys like not get crushed putting, man. Like they really can. You know, like we talked about Morikawa. These guys who can just not lose strokes putting. Like if they just have a decent day putting, that guys who can win it. Those are the targets. Those are the guys that we have to attack. I mean, one guy who's just his form is incredible, and I think he might get steamed a little bit just because of how well he's been playing. And he arguably should have won last week. Chris Kirk, man, if that dude could make some putts, he should have won the tournament last week. Should have lapped the field. Should have won by 3 strokes, and that's how bad he was with the putter on Sunday.
That would have been great. That would have been really nice to see.
Down here, I feel like it's like one of those stocks that, you know, you watch it keep rising and you just never bought it. I feel like I never bought Chris Kirk, and maybe shame on me, but you're right, man. Like every week I don't play him because I'm like, okay, the regression will start now, and it hasn't been. So it's actually a good call. Like I need to look further into him because I feel like a lot of people like me don't end up playing him. I thought he was going to be uber owned last week, and he was like kind of in the middle, you know?
All right, now we're finally, with a loaded field, we're now finally to my bread and butter range. This is what I got.
Yeah, I don't like anyone down here, so I need all the help.
I'll give you all the 6K nuts. Just let me know some. What?
I didn't say anything. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam. Tell us about the 6K range. Yeah, I don't
know
who to play down here, so I need the nuts.
So we have Adam Hadwin. That's an elite play. He's quietly been playing pretty well. He kind of does like what you want. The only thing is he does kind of suck on par 5s, but he hits it like such a pussy that it would make sense. Then we have JJ Spawn playing well. People kind of forget he started out pretty well last week. And then into yo like this because number one, you're obsessed with the value column on the projections portal. KH Lee, like he's not only good, but every TPC course he just plays well. He just plays TPC courses well.
He's surprising. You're right, dude. I mean, I keep looking into him more and more, you know, because we got to find these guys. He did play here last year, came in 41st place. I mean, I like that call, actually.
If you want to super next to the pin, run at
Sam, you have major internet issues.
Yeah, Sam forgot to pay the internet bill with the Scotty Scheffler winnings.
6,100 has played here twice.
Who is that at 6,100, Sam?
No, dude, what's funny is that the internet and the pod was fine until AC came on and everything went haywire.
Mine's fine.
Oh, yeah. I see AC nice and clear.
At Sedgefield, good comp, has come T2 here twice.
Yeah. The one good thing about Sam lagging is that now everyone will go to his article, which is freaking awesome. I come on here every week and I retweet it on Twitter every week. Sam's article is one of the best in the industry. It's probably the most underrated and slept on articles in the industry. And now everyone's just going to be forced to go read it, which is perfect. Right, AC?
Absolutely. You know where to find it at DFS Karma.
This was all part of the plan. Yeah,
it's a marketing. Sam lagging is a marketing strategy. That's what it is.
Well done, Sam.
I do. Good. Thanks, Sam. Great job. All right. We're at the portion of the podcast. I mean, we got to pick some winners. I mean, it's the Players, guys, the 5th major. We got to pick some winners.
Don't even start.
I'll lead it off with my 2 bets that I've already made. I am on Collin Morikawa and Cantley. I can't be more transparent with the 2 guys that I love this week. I got Cantley at 22-1 and Morikawa at 16-1. Those are my 2 favorite bets so far. And then if I had to give one long shot, I truthfully haven't put a ton of thought into it, but I mean, give me Corey Connors. I mean, we've been talking about it. If that putter's right, one of the best approaches in the field. Give me Corey Connors as my long shot this week.
I like that a lot. I'm going to debate Morikawa. Go ahead.
My 2 bets are Brooks at 40 and Sungjae at 50.
Yeah, I started saying it again. You can hop into the Discord chat, find our weekly bets in there at dfskarma.com. I'm more than likely going to tail Rueb with Morikawa. That was kind of on my radar. Not that I don't hate the price, man. I wish it was more in the 18 to 20 range, but
yeah,
I kind of reached with Scotty last week. So did you, Ruben. You know what? Sometimes you have to, right? And
I'm going to wait to bet him live.
This is essentially like a major, and Sam and I talk about this a lot. Like, you're not going to find that great of pricing. I mean, this field's stacked. Like, you got to make decisions, and ultimately, Rueb, you made yours. I will take a look as like one of my value bets. You talked about weather. I did not look into weather, but obviously I believe you guys. But I'm for sure. I already know me. I'm going to fire Dan Berger, but a longer shot, not a crazy long shot. I'm going to take a look at Lowry's price. I don't know what Lowry's price is. He's played well. Obviously, the other week he came up just short. Kind of pissed because I had him. I know he got screwed by the rain, but I think again, weather. I like Lowry. That could be one of my more value bets of the week.
Yeah, I like the Lowry call. Sam likes Lowry, I know, and he's just a grinder, man. Especially in these the bad weather situations. I know he got screwed by one a few weeks ago, but he's a grinder, man, and he rates out really well here for me as well. Sam, did we got your bets right, Sam?
We got him.
We got him in. Perfect.
Dealing with some internet, but
dealing with some internet. I'm definitely taking a screenshot of his face right now because it's great. I mean, it's gonna be my new group chat photo with Sam. It's gonna be perfect.
Staring at the phone.
Oh yeah. It's definitely gonna go into the phone. All right, but listen, if you want to get all of Sam's bets, all of AC's bets, head over to betkarma.com for all of Sam's articles, for his core plays, make sure you check out that projections portal. Like Sam said before, one of the greatest tools is just sorting by that value column. See who are the guys that we should be targeting. Most of the time, those guys in the value column are the guys that you see in the top of the lineup. Find their way into the lineups of the guys at the top of the leaderboard every single week. So for Rueb, for Sam, for AC, this was another Teen It Up podcast. Let's have some fun with the Players.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Good luck, everybody. Talk to you next week.